In last week's session, Krishna outlined that there are two ways that I have explained. Jnana Yoga is one, and Karma Yoga is the other one. Each one is for a different group of people. Karma Yoga is for those who are living just a normal regular life, but still are able to practice some basic laws. The Karma Yoga is for them. As long as they are just living their normal life without any renunciation as such, then they can as well practice the Karma Yoga. The benefits are not going to be any less. Jnana Yoga is for very few people who have been given or who have been bestowed with the ability to meditate right from the beginning without any extra effort. They are natural at it. Meditation is a natural thing for them, just like breathing. They don't have to take any extra effort. They don't have to focus their mind. They don't need even any guru, because they themselves are the gurus. They become the gurus. To them, Jnana Yoga is effortless. All they have to do is close their eyes and they can sit together, hours together, without any interruptions. But for majority of the population, hope is still there. Nothing is lost. In fact, it is the much easier way than the Jnana Yoga. Unlike the Jnana Yoga, for Karma Yoga, you need not have to run away from life. You can be in the path of family. You can be in the path of Grahastha Ashrama, where you keep doing the actions that you always used to do, but with a slight slant of mind. That is the Karma Yoga. That is how he listed down, and he also mentioned that as long as the person practices the Karma Yoga by using his mind to control the Indriyas and using his intellect to do the actions with his action organs, that is the Karma Yoga. That's how he stopped last week in the last verse. Now this week, today's session, he's going to focus more specifically on how to practice it in life. Because that is what it is. It is not just a theory. So Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga or entire Bhagavad Gita is not something like Srimad Bhagavatam, where in Srimad Bhagavatam it's all stories. He went there, he did this, he did that. And she went there, she did this, she did that. All good stories. You listen to it, you enjoy, and then you go away, walk away. But Bhagavad Gita is a practical manual for living. And so whatever Krishna is proposing as ideas that he has proposed now, what is Jnana Yoga, what is the Karma Yoga, and now he will have to drill down into the details as to how to practice that in life, which he has done even in the previous chapter also. To control the mind, do not give an idea to the indriyas that they can just go indulge themselves. Using your mind, understand that the indriyas have the natural tendency to go outward and enjoy, but use your mind to withdraw them inside, hold it together, and then start doing your actions. So these are all the tips, the practical tips that he's offering verse after verse. Now we need to see explicitly how to practice the karma yoga. Chapter 3, on which we are in, is called karma yoga by definition, and in that we are in verse 9. Let's take a look now. Verse 9. Yajñarthat कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर. This world is full of actions. Actions are inescapable, as he has explained before. The time you open your eyes, your actions start. Everything we do, blink of an eye is also an action. Breathing is an action. Everything is an action. Karma yoga, many people big time misunderstand, mistake it. Something like when you are, your occupation, they think that action is work means occupation. So I'm doing this work, I'm doing volunteer service, I'm working for this temple, that temple, that is a karma yoga. So I'm doing my part of karma yoga. That is not only that. Action represents every action we do, even blinking, breathing. Just think about breathing. Okay, breathing is also an action. So whenever we discuss about any action, you should associate that to even breathing. In this shloka, he says that you are in this world. I am lokoyam. There is a word called lokoyam, right? Loko, in this world. I am in this world. There are many actions. These actions are binding us. They tie that person, whoever who is doing that. We are just bound to that actions. What does that mean by binding? Binding is like becoming a slave to that actions. We will see the details later, but for now we are becoming a slave to that action. Whatever action that we are doing, we are becoming a slave, bound to it, and that attracts negative reactions. We will see what those are. But the actions that are performed out of all these actions that is being done since the time that we wake up and the time that we go to bed, full of actions. Out of these actions, the actions that are performed with a sacrificial bent of mind, actions that are performed with yajñartha, yajna, they will not bind you. So Krishna is now declaring a law. We have read about law of gravity, laws of motion, and laws of statics, right? Dynamics, whatever that we have in this world, with which laws of friction, mechanical laws, electrical laws, right? Now this is laws for life. These are actually the essence of the Vedas, right? Vedas are nothing but they stipulate some laws with which humans should live so that they can evolve, they can prosper, they can live a happy life, and here as well as there. Now These are the laws. In fact, entire Bhagavad Gita itself, you can think of it as the Vedas and the law that is proposed by Krishna for our own, each one of us. Bhagavad Gita is not written for anyone else outside. It's for me, for you. We should look at it like that is exclusively for me. That is the only book, in fact, that we can actually just treat it like our own. Sleep with that, dream with that, eat with that, and say that Bhagavad Gita is mine. Live that life with Bhagavad Gita, then that is a different living, right? Altogether. Now he says that the actions that are many, and with those actions, few actions that are done, or in fact, whatever actions that are done in this world that are with a bent of mind slightly, just different. You keep doing all the actions that you have been doing, but do those actions with a bent of mind in terms of yajna. Treat them as a yajna. What is an yajna? Tyag, or just give up whatever that we do. That is that yajna. So most of the time uh, when we do an action, we get associated with that action. We get attached to that action. We become a part of that action. We won't even realize that out of habit we just do it, right, without even realizing it. So we are bound by that action. We became a slave of that action that we cannot even escape out of it. We can't stop not doing it. Oh, I got so used to it, I cannot stop it. Water, it can even be good things. For example, people will go if 6:30 in the morning for jogging, let's say. I got used to going to 6:30 in the morning that I cannot stop it now. Even the time I wake up, I start keep going it. So that is how we are. That is that is not a good thing. Generally, traditionally, we have been hearing that have some system, right? Practice 12 o'clock. You have to eat 12 o'clock. You should eat. That is military discipline, right? That is for military that works perfectly okay. Even for real life also that will work okay, as long as we are not upset when something upsets our plan. 8 o'clock I should be taking my breakfast. Now I got this call from my aunt and she keeps on talking hours together about all things that I don't like. My breakfast is done. 8 o'clock I wanted to eat at 8 o'clock, I cannot do it. Right? That is, we have become a slave of that action of eating at 8 o'clock. As long as, one day I'm okay to skip, then that discipline is perfectly okay. Right? It is absolutely okay. As long as we are not upset about it, we are not going all over and saying that the plan is gone. It didn't go as per my plan. 6 o'clock, I will daily evening 6 o'clock, I will sit for meditation peacefully. Now someone is at my door. 5:55 gone. 1 hour went in that. Then that is meditation itself. The act is good. I wanted to do a good thing, but then we have become bound. So action, we should never be bound to any action. Results, binding to the results is next thing. Fruits of the results, right? The fruits of the actions is next. But action itself, we should never ever be, I got used to it, so I want to do it. This is OCD, right? Where I wanted to do it, I will have to do it. And moreover, few people will be like, they won't be happy if others do that job. I'll be happy only if I do it, because I do it the right way. And in my house, I will have to maintain it. Otherwise, my garden and everything I maintain, it will be perfect. If others, no, they don't do a good job. That is again another. We are just attached to that action so much that we wanted to do it ourselves. That is one way of bondage. Other way of bondage is I don't even know that I have been doing. My subconscious mind has learned that work so much that I just keep doing even without realizing that I'm doing it, whatever it may be. Right? It can be something like drinking tea or co- coffee or any other drinks in the afternoon, morning. Right? We just because we are habituated to it. We are given a tea or coffee, you just take it and then drink it, and then after some time, did I drink my tea today? Right? We used to ask that question. We forgot that. So that is how much we are uh, attached to that action. Should never be. Then we are not truly living the life. Actions, we should be aware of it and make sure that we didn't fall a victim to that action itself. The moment we lose ourselves in the action and that action is trying to control our life, then that is not
ये
going to.
तो लेट वाले पहुंचू पड़ा.
Okay, Maya, don't make noise.
So the moment we are trying to, we are being occupied by that work, then we lost. So that is what he's saying, that never let all actions for that matter will try to bind us. Will bind us, definitely. We will be bound. So we should do it with awareness. That is one. And the second one is sacrificial mindset should be there, whatever that we are doing. Sacrifice for whom? For what? Next question. That's a yajna. Wherever you hear the word yajna, that means sacrifice. Sacrificial mindset when doing an action is needed. That when a job is done with that yajna in mind, whatever we are doing, then that actions will not bind you. What is that? Next sloka is explaining that one even more better. But to give an heads up to that, one thing is the moment you start doing actions, what happens? You think about it. Simple. It can be simple, or it can be bigger, or it can be whatever it may be, right? The moment you start doing any action, attachment in terms of mind, I am doing, this action that I feeling we are having in mind, even to go drive and get a pizza, or even to just go to temple for volunteering. That's a good thing. I don't even want to say any other example. Let's say I volunteer every Tuesdays. Give an example, right? As I'm driving, that's an action I'm doing. I drive to the mandir to volunteer. So that is an action. So the moment I do that action, automatically one thing is that I feeling I am driving. I am driving. I take this car, I go, I volunteer, and I return. Even when speaking to others, what will you say? Yesterday, I volunteered. When I was volunteering, I did this, and we also will say that we will add it. As we speak, we just add our own uh, accomplishments. Every Tuesday, I volunteer. Nobody asked it, but still we will add it as a bonus for the receiver. So such things is nothing. I'm not saying that is ego. Do not mix it up with ego. The I feeling is not ego. I mean, ego in the sense it's not truly that arrogant ego. Arrogance, put that aside. I'm not even saying about the arrogance part of it. I am doing, I am doing, I am doing, I am doing. That is the biggest enemy. The moment you start doing the actions with I am doing, 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 that is the biggest enemy. But who else is doing? I am doing. So what do you want me to say? That's the next question that will come, right? We have already answered that question. This body is doing, this hands are doing, this legs are doing, and this mind is doing. I am not doing because I am different from each one of this. This body is being activated. I am not activating this body, which is the truth. There is some system that is sitting inside. We don't know yet. I mean, that God we didn't see inside yet. Only when enlightenment happens, then we see that God within ourselves, and then we see that Atman, that blemishless soul inside everyone, and we start loving everyone in this world, and this whole world becomes a paradise. But all those things didn't happen yet. So at this time, but one thing is for sure, that I'm not seeing that God, but I know for sure one thing, which is there is a system that is already automatically happening inside my body. My heart is working, I'm not doing anything. My livers, my intestines, kidneys, everything is working without any permission from me, without any inputs from me. I am not giving anything to it. I'm just eating my food, and rest of the things I don't even take care. They are all working. So that clearly shows that I am not operating this system, which is this body. Some other force is operating this body. And so that is where I'll have to figure out, who am I then? I'm not doing anything, but still I seem to be inside this body, and I need to figure that out. Those are the discussions, and that who am I? The question gets answered, then we become truly enlightened. That is the discovery we have embarked upon, and Bhagavad Gita is our vehicle that helps us in that discovery of ourselves, our true identity. To that, first enemy is to that first enemy becomes the I consciousness. I am doing, I know this, I drive it, I volunteer, I do bhakti. That right? That is the biggest enemy. The next one is, once you start any work, you will get some fruits of that work, whatever it can be, prasadam, or it can be, if you go volunteer in the temple, you will be given prasadam, or you can think of prasadam as the punyam that we earned as part of that volunteering work, whatever that may be. You will start associating that with mine, as mine, right? My punyam increased today, my prasadam is lying there in the car. So that mine. That is also incorrect, because in this world, nothing truly is ours. If you look at it, if you just step back and as a witness, look at everything as whatever that has happened to us, right? From the day that we are born to the moment that we are right now, we didn't earn anything. It gives an illusion to our mind that we did something and belongs to us. Before it was ours, it belonged to not it's not us, it's not ours, right? So that illusion creates that I feeling as well as mine feeling. The belongingness also happens. This is a problem with any action that we do. Every action is associated with this I feeling. We associate, because if I is not there, then there is no action. If I'm not thinking about any I, then there is no action at all. Moment I think that, oh, I am me, then I think about volunteering, or doing something, or earning something, or going on a bike ride. That action is associated with that I. And the next one is mine. I take my bike to go and then do. These two things are biggest enemies. So if we wanted to make progress in spiritual life, first thing is that ahamkaram and mamakaram. This ahamkaram is that I feeling, right? That should die down. From that, mind is giving that I feeling. Mind should activity should become zero, then that I feeling drops, then we will be truly established in our own existence. Most of us, the general feeling is our existence. When I'm existing, if you ask people, who are you? I'm this body. A little bit more, okay, I admit it, I'm not this body, mind, right? Mind or my intellect. But neither am I this body, nor this mind, nor this intellect. Everything should drop dead. Drop dead means the sense like I'm alive still. We should make it drop dead. All its activity should cease. Mind's activity, mental activity. Mind is always thinking. The thinking stops, then mind is peaceful. There is no thought at all in the mind. It is not bothering me anymore about anything. That state is the beginning state. We will start looking inside ourselves, our own true being. That is the true I. Now, whatever I that we get, that is coming from our mind, our ego that is built within us. That ego is not the arrogant ego, but the I feeling ego. That should drop. That is when we, but in order to get that I thing to drop, how will it drop? You cannot just say that I go away. It is not going to go away, right? That I feeling is natural. It's born with us. It's not natural, but we acquired it as we were born. After we grew up to some age, we acquired it, and so it got stuck with us, that we unnecessarily start assuming that this is my name is me, and I studied, I achieved this, my accomplishment is this me, whatever I have accomplished, I have got 2 PhDs, that is me. All those things are mind business. You use your intellect to acquire 2 PhDs, 100 PhDs. That is not you, right? Mind is not us, because this entire system we saw is given to us. That is not us. And so, who am I is the question. Now, in order not to form that binding of I and mind, Krishna here states that yajnartha, you can get rid of that I and mind only by sacrificing your actions. That is the yajna. So we'll have to perform as we live our life, morning to evening. I am performing a yajna in this life. That is the ideal thought that we all should have in our mind. Whatever actions that we are doing, I am doing it as a sacrifice. Sacrifice to whom? How? That is next shloka. Let's go there. सह यज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् एष वोष्ट्विष्टकामधुक्. And one more thing before we see this. While I use this body and then I use this mind and I do these actions, why should I treat all these actions as a sacrifice? Why should I sacrifice it? I what could, if you ask me to sacrifice the fruits, that is fine, but even the action itself I should sacrifice it. What does that mean, and why should I do it, right? So here he says that long time back, when Krishna is speaking, long time back when I created Brahma in this world, he in turn created all the beings, living beings, and the creation of this earth, physical earth, everything, and he made them live. At that time, Arjuna, Krishna is now speaking. Brahma told this within double quotes. Krishna is referring to Brahma. Evolve and prosper through yajnas. By sacrificing your work, evolve and prosper. Very important thing. See, we all think that sacrifice, spirituality is all boring. all work, give it to God. Not we all don't think. I'm not saying. Some people might say that what is that? We all give it up, everything, give up. What is that we have? We want to enjoy life. Life is inviting us. But he is again declaring the second law here. He says that when Brahma created, Brahma had announced to all the beings at that uh, time of creation that you all do sacrifice and prosper. So, what does that mean? Prosperity is possible only when you do sacrifices. And since then, the people who lived until then, who heard directly, they all were willing to sacrifice. Sacrifice is simply this: whatever I am doing, the action, I am not doing for my own end. I am not doing as an addict of that action. I didn't get addicted to it, but I am doing this action as I have been asked, or I'm responsible to him. Now, when Brahma did that, the creation, in this shloka, so nicely Krishna says here, Saha yajna praja srishtva. Praja is the people. Srishtva, when he was creating the people, Saha, all people, Yajnaha. Brahma himself created, he did an action, right? Because Brahma is doing an action of creation of this human beings and this world and all. He did it as an yajna. He didn't own any responsibility. He said that I am creating it. It's not I am creating. This action of me is created as a yajna to him. He gave that action to ownership to Supreme Lord. So the ownership of action of who is doing, or who has done a job, if that ownership we don't accept it, if that ownership is given to that Supreme Lord, then that is called yajna. And any action that we perform while we are living, right, including, when I say action, including breathing. Breathing can be extreme. Probably from 2 years from now we will reach to that level where every breath I take, I did it because of that Supreme Lord. It's not that I was able to see, I just left a breath out. Now the next breath I will inhale or not, it's not in with me. He decides. He's always sitting inside me. At any time he can switch off the lights inside me and he can walk away. So I don't have the control. I don't decide when I die. He decides when I die. So even the breathing, next breath is not with us. Where is the question of doing actions? Right? So that is the reason that do not have the ownership in you, but think of as an yajna to you. Think of as a sacrifice unto that Lord, and then start doing it. Now, it all seems easier to hear, but why is it that when we step out of this discussion, or after we hear we go out, why is it that it is so hard for us to perform that in reality? The only difference is we haven't familiarized ourselves with that Supreme Lord. So, mind is now agitating. Mind is going against us. He's asking, do I know that person, the super Lord? He is saying, your mind is asking that question to you now, that this man who is sitting on the Zoom now, he talks a lot about that Supreme Lord, but do you know about that Supreme Lord? Why do you want to sacrifice that action to him? I don't know. We are ready. If I'm sure whoever in this listening to it right now will be okay if there is someone who is sitting there and who is so weak and who is sick, let us say, and I'm just requesting you that you do this action of just do some milk, abhishekam with this milk. Do that action so that this sick man will recover. You will immediately do it, because you see with your eyes that man is sick and you trust, and you immediately go and then do that abhishekam, that action, give it to him. Do not accept it, you will immediately do it, right? No problem at all, because we have the heart to do, but we can't relate to that supreme Lord, because we haven't taken efforts to know him. It's when I say him, it need not be him, it can be it. We have never looked at it that way. Why should it be him or her? It can be it. That's why the philosophy of Advaita always says it as Brahman. Brahman is the uh, Atma of the universe. The entire universe is there. The entire universe is driven by one engine, to put it in crude way, right? That engine is that Paramatma. And that is an it. It doesn't know good or bad. It doesn't know he or she. It doesn't know want or likes or dislikes. It is just there, carrying this entire universe with it wherever it goes. Now we are all drifting in this universe. If you look at it, if you just take a moment and then drop everything, or whatever that is happening to our life, or this whole universe looks, it's not operating randomly. This earth on which we live, right? It has its own actions happening. Earth is rotating around, it's spinning at its with axis. They don't talk unlike us. They all do their actions. If you observe it, wind is doing its actions, water is fulfilling its actions, earth is doing its actions, whatever rains that it gets, producing grains, vegetables, fruits. It's doing, not using anything for itself. It is just doing it as a sacrifice. Wind is doing its action as a sacrifice. You breathe, you live. They're all not lifeless. They all have energy. You have energy, I have energy. That energy is what we. Wind has energy. They all are not lifeless. So if you observe, all around us are without making any noise. Under the laws of that Supreme Lord, they are all working smoothly, except for humans. Even animals are also okay. Because for 10,000 years ago, the tiger, how it behaved, even now it behaves the same way. It doesn't change at all. A tree, a mango tree, 10,000 years ago, how it would have been, even now, it does the same thing. It produces the same mangoes. It doesn't eat its own mangoes, but except for humans. Because, we are evolving, which is good, but we are, one aspect, we are also evolving negatively. Intellectually, we are building our strength, but as a human, we are going behind. So when you observe it, then you know that the whole universe is being activated. It's not randomly working, but it is working under one supreme leadership. So we should spend a few minutes, I would say that just take a walk in the evening and then just look at the nature, wonder about what is there in the nature and how it's being created, where it would have been, who would have created it. Birds are there in the sky, animals are running, even small insect, an ant on the floor just crawls without even we noticing that. This entire house is like a mountain for that, huge mountain for that ant. Just like how we look at the whole big mountain and say that it's a huge mountain, that ant is also a life energy like us. All this, the creations, wonder at the creation, right? All we need to appreciate God is this supreme Lord. That person is this. Appreciate the wonder with which this whole thing operates. Even our own body, for that matter, how nicely, from day zero, what were we? Just a few drops of blood, a baby, And then it stored so much of information that it grew up into a nice human. It remembers the nose of grandfather, the eyebrows of grandmother. Just that drop of blood remembers it. When it grows, it brings up all the qualities inherited from the hierarchy. Such a wonder. And it remembers the eyes, the nose, and they all do their job amazingly well. Right? Have you ever appreciated our own organs, the beauty of it, and the happiness that we got such organs naturally provided to us? We didn't do any effort for that. And where are we going to acknowledge that? Who are we going to attribute that to? Even you say that I'm going to attribute that to my dad and mom, that is perfectly okay. Are we doing that every day morning? Wake up and say that God given and my mom and dad have given me this. And dad and mom are, again, it's all, where did they get from? Right? So we will have to go back and research. Then that Supreme Lord will occupy our mind. See, we all, one thing is most people expect for some miracle to happen one day and then we will all be God enlightened or so nothing will happen. No miracles will happen in the next few years. It is we have to make our own progress advancement. And then we see the miracle inside us. Inside us, and appreciating simple miracles like this is what is the wonder of life. Right? Going and looking at in Italy, the Pisa, slanting, the Tower of Pisa. Wow, look at it. So angle and it didn't fall. How crazy. How somebody is wondering, what is the beauty about this world where you just put anything in your mouth, it can identify 200 or 1000, it can actually differentiate food, taste of food. Micro buds are there. How beautifully designed. Right? So then once we appreciate that Lord, then we will start doing our actions as part of yajna. Then naturally we will just give it to him. Then we will start living our life every moment. Whatever actions, it becomes trivial. And secondly, the humility occupies the mind. The moment you look at, if you have observed your own behavior, people who are less intelligent than us, when we speak to them, we'll be a little bit like, I know it all. Okay, do it, whatever I say, that will be done. But if you interact with people who are a little bit slightly more intelligent than you, you'll be like, are highly intelligent than you, not little bit. Little bit, we will start, ego will be there. I will not accept, he's as good as me, I'm not going to, right? If someone is too high, let's say Joe Biden, he's not intellectually, I'm not saying anything about him, but President of United States, he walks into your house, let's say, look at all that, the demeanor, our personality will be totally different. We don't even know about him, but we just attach that. The humility automatically will be there. Oh, President of United States is in my house. The humility is naturally is that. Same is true with Supreme Lord also. So once we understand the superior qualities of that Supreme Lord, then the humility naturally occupies our mind. Once humility is there, then everyone who we look at, naturally that humility we will be able to bring about. The love, and the love can be appreciated again. You have that Supreme Lord is so much, and still he has so much of affection and love towards me that he has given me so much a better life than so many others. That gives us the love in others, right? And then whatever actions that we do, naturally we will attribute to him. I don't do anything, what do I know? That thought will slowly come in. That humility will bring, whatever I have learned, 10 PhDs not enough. To his knowledge, I am just nothing. To his knowledge, right? What is his knowledge? How do I know about this knowledge? I'll give you an example. We have been listening to this. He is occupied everything in this universe. He is this ocean. He is this mountain. He is this trees. He is the one who has like this land, birds, animals. Everything is him. That's what we used to say, right? Him or it, whatever you can say, or it can be her also. If you want, you can say her also. That is why we have Mahalakshmi. If you think that Mahalakshmi is the one, Mahalakshmi is that Brahman. If you think Vishnu is the one, Vishnu is that Brahman. You can think of the way that you wanted it, right? And that is why we have that the flexibility. They cannot be separated. Saying that I like Mahalakshmi but I don't like Mahavishnu. That's not possible because it's like you take a stick, you take both ends of the stick, Mahalakshmi and Mahavishnu. In terms of intelligence, what intelligence that he have? You and I are having the intelligence, right? We think that we are smart. We created the great internet in this world and we have all the things in this world. But all things that are working in this world, everything starting from our body, everything derives its intelligence from that intelligence only. There is only one intelligence in this world and everything else derives from it. And it is the one that has become this laptop or road or tree or lamppost or any such thing. Look at the intelligence. How can one thing be everything? Think about it. It can now if you make you take a um, just give an example, right? You make a dough and you make rotis out of that dough. You take a dough, you can make rotis. You cannot say that I'll make a dough, I'll make rotis, and I'll also make Tesla cars. That's not possible. With one material, you can make only one thing, food, eatable. Brahman is that. That Brahman, whoever we say God, right? That God truly is one thing, but many items are produced from that. Whatever the tree is produced out of that material, that dough, that Brahman as the dough, lamp, light, colors, cars, whatever you think, finally humans. We are also made up of that material. That's why everyone is made up of that material. That is why when we see the others, we should see them as God. That is why they say, because it all originates from one material, that is the super soul. So now, that is what with that one material, Brahma was also created. In this verse, Brahma created with that material, he created them. Because where else he will have material for, right? If you are simply just building or rebuilding your own house, we will have to go move to other apartment or elsewhere to another house, and this takes 6 months to build it, rebuild it, our house, right? This entire universe have to be built. Where do you go for material? That is the only material, that godly material is the only material with which this entire, and that material transforms itself into multiple things, into food, into animals, into wood, right, into trees, wood, everything. That is the only thing that exists in this world, that with which it was created. At that moment when Brahma created with that material this entire universe, he told that by sacrificing your actions you can prosper. That is the meaning of this verse. And now he says next verse, देवान् भावयतानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वः परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परमवाप्स्यते पवाप्स्यथ. Very important. Why do we need to sacrifice? Sacrifice is a law with which this universe is created. Brahma followed that. Whatever he did, creation, he didn't take the ownership of that action to himself and said that I did it. No, he said that I'm doing it. I'm doing it. He has to do it still. I am doing it as part of a sacrifice unto the Supreme Lord. It is just the bent of mind, how you look at it. Actions will be done the same way. Whatever we are doing, the actions, there is no going to be any modification of action or something like that. The Karma Yoga beauty is that whatever actions we are doing, we will do as we are. But before doing or while doing, the attribution of I am doing should be removed, and we instead should attribute I am doing it as a part of a sacrifice unto him. That can even mean the work that we are doing, the employment that we are doing. That doesn't mean that we should not go do work with somebody, or and nothing is being mentioned. Any normal work that is being done, uh, that has to be done with an attribution to yajna. I am doing it as part of a sacrifice unto him. When we do that, then devas are pleased. When devas are pleased, and such kind of cooperation between the humans and the devas results in prosperity to the mankind. Such is the law that is being established. It's mutual. So you do your sacrifice unto the Supreme Lord, and I have appointed. I have appointed meaning God has appointed devas. Where are those devas? I can't see any devas, right? We can all ask that introspectively the questions. Why not? The wind that we breathe in is a deva, Vayu Deva, right? Water is a deva. Earth itself is a deva. They are all witness. The sky is a deva. Fire is a deva. And there are, it doesn't have, these are things that we can see. There are millions that we cannot even see. They are all witness to our actions, and they are all being instructed by Brahma that people, when they do actions, when they sacrifice those actions, you do good to them. That is how they have been instructed, and so they are all witnessing, they are all have been watching. Now you know the answer for drought. Why California is reeling under drought? So they are all watching for sacrifice, but looks like maybe Californians are not doing anything with sacrifice. Then how are we doing the work? That is the next question, the next thing that he is going to answer. Having pleased, now I'm not reading that, I'm reading that shloka first. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavita. Dasyante, deva dasyante means devas will grant. When they see that people are doing their work as part of not just to eat themselves, live themselves, but as a part of sacrifice, then devas will grant and fulfill your wishes. Yajna bhavita. And then next line says that tair dattan apradayabhyo. But when that they will be pleased and they will grant us everything. When we are receiving that fruits, benefits of that sacrifice that we did, yajna that we did, if somebody didn't offer it, tai apradayabhyo, didn't offer it, meaning work wise I did it as a yajna. Now I got the results, fruits. When I get the fruits, now I think like I have worked really hard, let me enjoy the fruit. Then Krishna calls in this verse such people as thieves. Thief who just took all advantage of everything that I have provided in this world, including the rains, the air, the food, the crops, everything. He did made use of all things, and then he got the fruits. Now he is, attributing to himself, and he is enjoying the fruits to himself. Then that is, he is called a thief. So what is that we can do with that fruit? One thing we can do, simple thing is, offer the fruit also unto him mentally, right? In your mind, say that, oh, I got this fruit, I don't have any part in it, I'm offering unto you, and then enjoy it, which is perfectly okay. Still, he is not saying that do not have those fruits to yourself. He's just saying, can you offer it? Do you have that mindset to offer to me back, that okay, I got this fruit because of that great thing, so do not enjoy it, is what he said. And when whoever who does it, he declares them as thieves. That is why, or the other best thing is, I got this fruit, I earned $1,000 out of it. I'm just giving some number as an example. Out of this $200, let me give it to the poor and needy, because those poor and needy are his creations and they are not having any food. Let me give it to them, let them enjoy. That is good, because you are not enjoying yourself. Now we are attributing to him, and also taking out a part and giving it to others who are in need, which is perfectly good, right? What is not good, that is going to tell in the next verse. यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्. Yeah. Whatever that is left out, remains, remnants of such a yajna, which is the fruit, right? And that, if he offers that fruit also, and then eats that meaning uses it up, right? It can be, if it is money, he use it. If it is name, let's say if you are honored, President of the United States is inviting you that you are the best volunteer for the year 2021, let's say, give an example, right? Then no one says that, Krishna is not saying that reject it, that's the fruit, give it as a sacrifice to me. He never said that. Go ahead, accept that honor, but when doing so, in your mind, attribute to me, oh Krishna, you made it, do I really need it? You are the one who is the owner of the honor, I am not the honor. And then that becomes like a remnant, remains. You already offered that to him, and the remains, you go and then just accept it for this world, for making this world happy, because this world will be happy when we go and accept that honor or award. But in that mind, there is no interest in that award. I will not take pictures, selfies, and post it in Facebook or Instagram. Anyway, that was not working some hours ago. But even if it were working, I will not post it there and say that, and go every once in a while and check how many likes I have got. And did people say anything about it? I got this award from President of United States for the best volunteer. Did people say this? That is, then that means that is no use. That is why he's saying that if such people who are eating that, all whatever they cooked, they eat themselves, then they eat only the sins. Here there are, two meanings. I know we have to close right now, but just explain this. I'll explain this meaning to you, and then we can call it a day, call it a night. There are two meanings to it. One is whatever food that we are preparing at home. Few people will define that as a meaning. Yajna shishtam means whatever food that you cook at home, do not just cook and eat yourself. Every day, whenever we prepare food, just offer it to God and let God bless that food, and then you eat. That is one meaning. That is also, of course, that is true, right? Because whatever that food that we cook and we eat, what is that? We are not even attributing that to God. I'm eating this food right now because of all your mercy. He can easily could deny. There are millions of people, even today in this world. It's unfortunate. Millions die of hunger. It's not out of disease. Out of hunger, millions die. Developing countries. Such is the situation. And what is the probability that we will not be one in that 1 million? And we are so blessed that we got this food on hand. If you just think about that 1 million for one moment, good, we will have a lot of gratitude in our mind. We build gratitude. See, all this happiness is about building gracefulness, gratitude, right? And then the appreciating the greatness of God, wonder of God is all the happiness, right? Then naturally we will start acknowledging. So let's, if we are not already doing, let's start doing it from tomorrow. The food that we cook, just offer it mentally, right? Once. It's because of you I'm eating. Wherever, even if it is a restaurant food, before putting it in the mouth, hold it for a moment and then say that prayers, whatever that is. One word, one line. Word or line is not important. What is there in our mind is important. I didn't do it, I didn't earn it. But lucky that I got this food now on my hand. Right? That will elevate that person. Otherwise, if we are not doing, Krishna is declaring in the second line that such people who cook food and eat themselves, they eat only sins. They are not eating that food, they are eating the sins. The second meaning is food is not necessarily the food that you cook, but anything that you make for yourselves. The profits that you make in business, or the monthly pay that you earn, or any name, fame, jewelry that you get, or the dresses, decorations that you make yourself. You do it for your own Atma Karanat. For me, I am doing it for me. That thought is the killer. I'm not doing it for me. I'm just, that doesn't mean that we should not dress up or we should not decorate ourselves. We can all dress up wonderfully, decorate with ornaments, everything. All is asked here is slant of mind, saying that I'm doing it because of you. You have given me, I am enjoying it. Every moment, right? You are giving me, I am enjoying it. That is the important point in this verse. Rest of the verses we will see next week. मङ्गलाशासनरैर्मदाचार्य पुरोकमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यै सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम्.